See how much of this story we remember.
Oh my gosh, I don't know if I remember any of it. It was a blur. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to my TED Talk. Today I'd like to talk to you about the birth of the 3 children.
Triplet.
Triplets.
Where do we start?
I don't know what happened to you.
At 31 weeks and 3 days, that's when I woke up, rolled out of bed, and my water broke as soon as I stood up. Surprise! I called Michael, who was working in the other room, and told him my water broke.
It was much more confused than that. She was like, I think my water broke. I'd been on a conference call since like 6 a.m. and I'm just about to join my like 3rd one for the day, and I get a call at 8:05. She's like, I think my water broke. I'm just like, oh, okay, well, we gotta go to the hospital. Mute. I put a little type to my chat to my coworker. I was like, hello, you know, it's time. I think the water just broke. I'm gone.
So we drive to the hospital, we get all checked in, they wheel me up, and then we're in the triage room where they're determining whether or not you're going to stay and actually deliver, or if they're going to send you home.
And they put this thing on her belly that like measured contractions. You could watch it on like a little meter.
They gave me some magnesium to try and stop the contractions, and then they gave me steroids.
Well, your water broke a second time.
Well,
we were there.
I don't think it really broke a second time.
The more came out a second time.
More keeps coming out. What happened after that? And they started doing some ultrasounds to try and see if the babies were like breathing on their own, and like everything was basically okay before they went and delivered them.
They gave you the steroid shot, which was supposed to last for 12 hours.
And then get
stopped.
another steroid
And then
shot.
another one.
Didn't make it.
It barely made like 4 hours.
Didn't even make it for like the first steroid shot to have any effect at all. I remember they were doing I was having contractions, and they were trying to do the ultrasound for the babies, and they kept coming in and doing more and more of the ultrasound. And they asked me, they said, do you want us to wait in between contractions to do the ultrasound? And I'm like, wait, you're not gonna get anything done. I'm literally having contractions every 2 minutes at this point. So I told them to just go for it.
I mean, eventually they stopped coming in, and they left us alone for like a good hour, I think.
They forgot about me.
You're 6 hours into labor at this point. I'm just like, I picked up the little phone. We're in this room. Can you do something? And they're like, then they came in, they're like, still having contractions? And I'm like, yeah, they're really consistent. And they did the final check at like 1:30, and they're like, 3 centimeters. All right, they're coming. She said, it's happening. One nurse went out of the room. I was in scrubs like 5 minutes later. They're wheeling her out down the hall, 1:35, and we're in the OR. And this is where I knew that they knew, because they had 16 to 20 nurses and doctors inside that room already just waiting.
So we did hear from one of the NICU nurses later on that they pretty much knew that I was going to give birth that morning, and they were just trying to get enough staff there to be able to handle triplets.
We were a walk-in triplet pregnancy.
So they didn't want to tell me that they were like waiting for the room and waiting for the nurses, but everything was fine. And the anesthesiologist was really nice. He numbed me up really, really good, to the point where like I was saying, I can't feel my fingertips. Like, maybe we want to dial that back a little bit.
He was pretty funny.
I had 4 people assigned to me, and then there was like 3 to 4 nurses per baby.
I had my own person just watching me, make sure I didn't pass out. I'm not typically squeamish, but I was definitely eager to watch.
Everything went well. They showed me baby A when he first came out, and that is Isaac. And then they whisked him away, and then I heard baby B, Elise, crying when she came out. And then I think C, which is Eric, he wasn't crying when we first brought him out, so they just took him away right away and worked with him.
They just came around the tent with baby A, and then that's when the anesthesiologist was like, well, if you want to watch, peek your head up over the tent. Because I'm just like holding her hand, just like, what's going on? They're like, all right, Dad, go, feel free to walk around and take pictures. And I'm like, but she's like,
still on the table.
She's open. And I was like, I really don't want to leave her. And they're like, no, go. You want to take pictures of all like the first weighs and measurements? And I was like, oh, okay. On the other side of the tarp, there's like a baby to my left, and then 2 babies way down on the other side of the room. And I try and get as many pictures as I could. I was like, I don't know what to take pictures of. Click.
Next, down the line.
And I'm back at Sarah, and as I turn around, they are just removing all whatever after birth, and I mean, it was just so much more baby right in that metal bowl.
God.
I was like,
That's so gross.
I had like a quick like white flash. I was like, don't let Sarah know.
Yeah, then you left, and while they stitched me up. Like,
Well,
I
they
know
started wheeling babies out, and I was like, well, I should follow them because you weren't going anywhere.
I remember they were going to move me off of the operating table onto one of the stretchers to move me to a room. So I said, please don't drop me. That's all I kept saying. I was like, please don't drop me, because I couldn't feel anything from the waist down still, so I was freaking out. Of like all the things that was gonna make me panic that day, it was getting dropped at the very end.
I was left alone in the NICU pod. There's typically 4 babies per pod, and so we had the suite to ourselves, basically, all 3 of them. And I mean, I'm hopping around from baby to baby, and this was before you get the full NICU experience of tubes, the CPAP machine, heart monitors, the EKGs, the blood oxygen level. Like, they get all tubed up, they get put inside the incubator, and that's when I got the very first pictures of them. And then, I mean, it only took like 20 minutes of that before I was like useless. I'm just like, in my scrubs with a phone, watching at least 12 nurses like do everything to hook up the babies. Yeah. And then I was like, I didn't know what to do, so I like walked out to the front desk. I was like, oh, any idea where my wife is?
I was in some sort of like in-between room because they didn't send me to a recovery room yet. They had me somewhere else.
Yeah.
I don't even remember where it was.
So
and then
far away.
Before
on the 3rd
they,
floor.
yeah, before they wheeled me to my room that I was going to be staying at in the hospital, they took me to the NICU so I could see the babies. They just wheeled me in with the whole entire bed, and then I got to see each one of them before I got back to my room.
Then to the recovery room.
Yeah.
Where we stayed 5 days.
I visited the babies every chance I could, though.
Lots
And
of recovery.
hospital food is not that bad.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
give props to the hospital. That was pretty decent. French toast.
French toast. I love how we have like triplets in the hospital, and we're like, yeah, but the French toast.
The French toast. Birth story.
That's the whole story, really.
Mm-hmm.
It was a crazy day. All right, that was our birth story.
That's the birth story. Okay. I hope it was recording. This is gonna be funny to anyone but us.
Are we just really tired?